So one of the things I actually haven't really discussed too much on this channel is what it's actually like to have CPTSD. There's CPTSD and then there's PTSD. Normally when I say CPTSD to people, it's a new concept and they'll default to saying, oh, you got PTSD, which is understandable. CPTSD stands for Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, and PTSD is Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. The difference being PTSD is normally caused by a one-time traumatic event, be it car crashes, assaults, a lot of war veterans, anything where there's been a real traumatic event and it's only really happened once. You might just have a well-adjusted life and then you have a very traumatic event and you have PTSD. I would like to have PTSD in a way. And what I mean by that is PTSD, generally with things like EMDR or trauma-informed therapies, you have a likely outcome of recovering from trauma quite quickly. It's just because it's just been a one-time event, the application of a trauma-informed approach probably won't be for a lifetime type of thing. So with the types of trauma, you've got big T trauma, you've got little T trauma. Big T traumas are more the big events, your PTSD type traumas, and then you've got little T traumas, which are ongoing traumas that happen over a long period of time. So we're talking more like childhood trauma or any type of physical or emotional abuse that has been sustained for a period of time and normally impedes the development of a person. Can even, for some people, affect their brain development or physical health, and can lead to many different coping mechanisms as well. So, I mean, as I've said before, I was misdiagnosed with schizoaffective and epilepsy, which turned out to be CPTSD, and the epilepsy was dissociation, which all got checked by psychiatrists and neurologists and underwent tiration of medication to get off, and I'm still without medication and doing reasonably well as you can. That sometimes this trauma is not through malicious, like outwardly violent or like yelling type situations. Sometimes it can actually be through kindness, and kindness can be for some people when they've been growing up, like for myself, not so much done out of kindness but done out of manipulation. It's to serve a purpose for someone else's need. So growing up, you can be as I was, like a parent to my parents sort of thing, offering that parental care as a child to parents. It can be in relationships, offering the what I used to call the 24-hour psychologist sort of thing, that emotional support, being the I guess the emotional regulation for people that couldn't regulate their own. In order to have that, because we don't tend to get into relationships, we don't tend to stay in family environments because we enjoy abuse. It's like there are moments of kindness, like if I switch into the world of narcissism sort of thing, there's what's called the golden child, where a narcissist will basically love bomb. They will treat you basically like the light shines out of your ass. Basically, they'll really. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like a sick motivation in the sense of like they'll highlight all your good qualities and make them really awesome sort of thing, but they're just luring you in, the grooming you in a way, and as soon as you step outside of sustaining their needs or what you need to be for them, then you're the complete opposite of the golden child. You're almost like the demon child, like you're the worst person ever. It's less about being kind to someone, it's kind of like you're a dependence for someone. And if I probably relate it more into the world of addiction, so I, being the emotional regulatory person, or the sounding board or the yelling board to someone to vent all their frustrations, and it's like I definitely had arguments where in relationships where it was a cathartic experience for the other person to basically blast, and then that's how they felt, which is basically blasting the person with a lot of venom. And in an addiction sense is that you become that need for that person. There's an attachment to you as a person that fulfills that lack that they have within themselves. Similar with a drug addiction, it's like you become the source of that self-soothing, because there's a lack of self-soothing behavior within oneself. So anything where, like say on a recovery journey, where you start to develop a sense of self, your own self, where you're not in service of constantly other people, because you're just that source of take, you might start to develop boundaries, a sense of who you are, sort of thing, an identity separate to what they need you to be. So with drug addiction, if I just took away the drug for a person, there's going to be withdrawal. There's going to be probably not a lot of nice words said to me for taking that source of comfort, that source of self-soothing, that source of regulation. They can use kindness in that sense of like, no, I'll change. It's like, just like, I'll do what you need me to do, sort of thing, to keep you dependent, to keep my source around. And this may happen over a period of time until it's almost like, well, everything's going good now. Like, I'll just go back to having another drink to celebrate because I've been so good. Which doesn't do a lot of good to the other person, because it's just a cycle of behavior. It's a repetition of behavior. They're doing to keep you attached, to placate their needs, to self-soothe their own hurt. And sometimes for the other person, where they are developing, where they are wanting to actually have a better sense of self, to actually have a voice for themselves sometimes, because even that can be shut down. Then anything where there's autonomy, then once again it's a threat, and the person themselves might actually start to go, well, do I want to be the source of dependency? Do I want to wait for the next argument? Do I want to take care of my parents' needs? Do I want to do all that? The unfortunate outcome of that is it creates a mistrust in the person that has CPTSD. And this mistrust, like I've said that to some people and they look at me as if like, oh, you can't trust anyone, sort of thing. It's like it's a weird sort of like reaction, because it's actually quite logical. If you've developed from a child where kindness is being just a point of manipulation to the point of what the other person wants, then you would develop a sense of mistrust in others. It's not that I mistrust everyone. It's just when I experience kindness, there is that point of, well, what's in it for them? Because I'm trying to protect myself from getting hurt again, because that is the result of someone using kindness for their own gain. You get used, you get hurt, you get scared of actually opening up to people, because it's like, well, here we go again, sort of thing. But through that is you develop over time, through if you start to put in the work to actually like recover from the trauma, which is not a quick thing to do. You develop trust, and I know this from a fact. It's like I go to a Taoist temple, and even more and more they've been involved with me, just because I've been showing up and learning and removing my sense of self and just following something that I'm passionate in. And they've invited me into more and more, and I'm doing more social stuff with them. And there was once where I went and did some exercise with my teacher, with a group of people. Everyone was kind, everyone was supportive, and it was genuine. Like people wanted to see me. I did all the Lunar New Year celebrations, and literally people from last year were remembering me, hugging me. It's like, it was quite nice, to the point that when I drove my car home, experiencing genuine kindness, that genuine sense of caring, had me in tears. It really rocked me, because you start to realize how bad it was, how bad you were used, how bad it, like how this mistrust developed through using love as a weapon, basically. So yeah, it was something that, I mean, it was not a bad thing in the sense it was just more of an awareness of like, holy crap, there are good people in the world. And strangely, it's like I don't have that view of the world where everyone's a bad person. I probably should, and I do think that sometimes, but I guess through learning about trauma is I'm fortunate in the sense that I have the diagnosis of CPTSD. I'm aware I have trauma. I am aware I have issues. But that awareness is an awareness for myself. But sometimes, like when I do look into the world, it's like I can see the trauma that's affected other people, and they may also be carrying the misdiagnosis sort of thing. I can't say for certain. But it gives me a sense of understanding. It doesn't give me a sense of empathy to like go, oh, okay, well, I'll help this person who's beaten me up sort of thing, because it's like I have empathy because they have trauma. It just gives me more of an understanding of why people may not want to connect, and why people are the way they are. It kind of gives me a sense of understanding. Yeah, it is sometimes just very simple, something as simple as kindness. Love can hurt and love can heal. Like, it's complex post-traumatic stress disorder, but sometimes the actual healing part of it is simple. It's connection with people that are genuine, that do want to care. It's sometimes if your body, like my body sometimes gets very constricted sort of thing, it goes into quite a strong freeze response movement. It's sometimes simple as that. Implementing it is sometimes hard because it's like the old rational and the fear response and all that kicks in, and it's like, I can't move. It's like there's all these reasons not to. But sometimes it is the simple things that do help discharge the trauma. EFT tapping, that's why I got into EFT tapping, applying something and became a practitioner in something that I'm now helping for others, or putting out videos that are helping for others. In a way, it's not that I'm thankful for the traumatic experiences, but I am thankful for the awareness of what it's given me and the awareness of how it's freed me from so much pain. Does that make my life easy? No. Does it make it like greener pastures and all that? No, it's like there are good days, there are bad days. There's months of good days, there's months of bad days. It's something that has been a developmental thing. So anything that I've developed, it takes time to undevelop. I just can't get over it. It's not a choice. So yeah, it's something that comes and goes. But as long as you have awareness of something, then you can change something. I might talk a bit more about my CPTSD experiences rather than just referring to it. I don't know why I haven't done videos about it before. It's like I haven't been avoiding it. It just didn't really, the light bulb just didn't switch on to actually do videos about it. I think because it's something that I live with. It's just part of my everyday. So, but yeah, even though it influences so much of these videos. Anyway, I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.